Hello, everybody. Ghost Trick Queen here, and welcome back to another episode of Grounded. This is episode 2, where we are going to do a few different things today. Important things are are continuing to analyze various different things, um, as well as collecting unique resources. And we are also going to go check out that explosion that had occurred over near that big tree in the distance. A few other things of note. I last episode I did not end up explaining. Oh, there we go. Got some pallets. I did not end up explaining what these are. So this is a research station. If we pull up the map, you can see it is a field station more technically. And what they do is they have various different important things. They have obviously the resource analyzer, which is the whole reason why we are able to analyze things to make things in general. Then there is an ASL terminal, which we will figure out what happens later, like what that does later, as well as the resource surveyor, which we will also figure out what it does later. One of these may even show up later in the episode, so stay tuned if you are interested. Obviously, we have a lot of food, so I'm going to work on cooking that up. And then we may also, once we get over to the tree, I think that'll be where our first actual base is. So we will just kind of have to stay posted on that. But for now, while our food cooks, I think we will go ahead and sleep till morning. Alrighty. And thankfully, with the passage of time, our food is cooked. But obviously, as you can see, a lot of our food is also kind of getting closer to being spoiled. But that does mean we should have 3 new charges, which is perfect for us to do our weevil noses. Ooh, let me get a gas mask, which will be a very important thing. And then our brain power is increased, which gives us new recipes, assuming we haven't already learned them, which we have for this level. But if we look through here, see, so on level 3, our next level, I've already figured out 3 of the items, but we're still missing 3 of them. Although I can tell what those are, but I will leave that a secret for later times. As a matter of fact, I can pretty much recognize most of these items just by their outline. But yeah, so currently it only goes up to 16 levels, which is pretty much most of the way through the game. But yeah, let's go ahead and research some mushrooms. For some mushroom slurry, which we won't be able to craft yet anyways, but... And then some gnat fuzz, which has no new recipes. I think it's because we've already researched the gnat meat, which gave us the two of the things that can be crafted from it. Perfect. Whoops. There we go. And then we will. So generally speaking, you don't really want to hold all this food on you. However, I didn't mean to. That's fine. But I tend to hold on to food a lot because of the fact that I use it as my main healing source. So food, not only does it give you the well-fed status, which if we look over here, will provide some slow health generation, which isn't the most useful, because of just how slow it is. It just lasts for 5 minutes, but it's so slow that it's not really a useful heal. It's just it's a nicety. You then have the meal buff, which stops your hunger from depleting for a while, which is pretty nice. But the biggest thing is the fact that it heals. So if you are injured and you chow down on like 3 of these, they'll heal, quite a bit. So it's kind of the important things. The whole reason why I hold on to so much food. We can. Oh, we don't have anything. Oh, we could though. If we cut down, because we've done a stem palette. But we have not, or we've done grass planks. Oh, I'd have to go all the way up there for it. So there is another type. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to. Let's see if we can just. Oh. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So obviously, currently we have cut down 2 various things, the dry grass and the standard grass. But there is another thing that we can cut down, and that is right here, dandelions. And they don't drop grass, as they are not grass. They instead drop these weed stems, which is kind of like an early game wood. Should have dropped. Okay. Oh no. And the dandelions drop 2 useful things. That being the weed stems, obviously, but also these dandelion tufts, which can be used as parachutes. Beautiful. We're missing 1, but we only can carry 5, and I only really care enough about it to do this. Which gives us all kinds of things. Mostly building stuff very similarly to what we already have in grass. But it is a very nice and useful thing. And then I'm sure you guys saw this. Unfortunately, this requires a tier 2 axe, kind of like how those mint caps required a tier 2 hammer. So sadly, we can't do those yet. But I think now that we're done researching and we are done cooking, I think it is time for us to make our way over to that explosion and see what happened there. Which, if you guys don't recall from last time or are just tuning in on this one, oh, I didn't realize there was a tape here. I'll play that once I'm done talking. We had pressed this button. Oh, I'm thirsty. We had pressed a button and cleared up these lasers, or these machines that shot lasers, and it had caused an explosion to occur all the way over there at that tree. And then also apparently left a little cassette tape for us. So I will go ahead and play that as I travel over to the tree.
I was a fool to have ever doubted myself. A fool like Klein, like Kaminsky, like Schmechter, like all of Armament. I am here in the backyard. Down in the backyard. I mean, I am speaking to you from the backyard. I am tiny! I should gather my thoughts. This is a momentous occasion. Wendell Tolley official log, 89.08.05. Recording as I take my first steps into the miniature world. The sights are unbelievable. The textures, the way the light falls upon every surface, the subtle patterns in all of the objects that surround me, the grass. Even common lawn grass looks like a structure from an alien world. Wait, what's that sound? The very earth is trembling. Over there, what could it be? An ant! My God, today, the world has changed forever.
So it seems that some scientist was working on shrinking people, and based on his recording and, well, our tiny size, I would say he has succeeded. Yeah, unfortunately we can't do anything about those guys yet, but we can gather some more resources here while we head over to that purple smoke off in the distance. But also just kind of take in the visuals of this game. Like, for a very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids idea, it is very prettily done. Okay. I will go ahead and gather these acorns, and then we can make our way to that explosion. Okay. Okay, one more acorn. We have space for it. I mean, I have to. They're just right here. I'm not normally like this, however, resources can be kind of annoying to... Oh. They're no longer just right here. There. These resources become a bit more of a pain to get later on, so the more you have now, the less you have to deal later. Oh. Oh, wolf spiders. Yeah, they are not fun, so... Oh, I didn't equip a dandelion. So, as I was going to show you right there, until I forgot to actually equip it, dandelions can be used as little parachutes, which is really cool. So here we have made it into a lab. So, got little cameras and things. And you can tell it's the lab we were meant to go to because it's been blown up.
This looks like dark paradise.
That it does. One of the other characters, Pete, who is, your stereotypical nerd, he would absolutely love this place. Oh, another cassette tape.
I have isolated the source of the particle irregularities. They appear to be a byproduct of the shrinking process. If I adjust the machine to account for their existence, it should be the key to the de-shrinking, expanding process. Burg.l, please bring up the readings for the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle traces. Ugh, that name is going to get tiresome. And while you're at it, rename all references to the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle to raw science.
Order received. Raw science identified. Does it require cooking, flipping, or grilling?
No, none of those. Categorization.
That answer is not permitted, according to health code standards governing the handling of raw food items.
So it sounds like that scientist again, a very wacky robotic assistant. Oh, nice. We got grub stuff now, which is really cool. It's actually one of my favorite early game and mid game armor sets. And you'll see why, because I'll build it pretty soon. Another resource surveyor that we just can't do anything with. Lots of sap. I will be taking as much of that as possible because I want it, and it's mine now. Yeah, we'll drop that for a sap. Oh, and a water cooler. Can't do anything with that because it requires biometric. Uh-oh. Dead robot? Not a dead robot.
System reboot in progress. Thanks for the helping hand. I am Burg.l, acting science manager for this project. I am also a robot. I am sure this all must be very disorienting for you, but hopefully I can explain.
Let's go ahead and chat with him.
You were miniaturized by Dr. Tully's spacer device. Why are you here in the yard? I do not know. In fact, I cannot seem to recall much of anything. A recent power surge has caused a massive raw science containment explosion. This lab, as you can see, is a disaster.
Oh man, I wonder what idiot would have caused that.
And what's worse, the explosion has disrupted my computing power. My memory banks are corrupted. Sorry to pile on the bad news, my new friend. How can I be of service?
Where am I?
You are here, in the Oak Lab, built and used by Dr. Wendell Tully to experiment on all things small. This is the base of operations for conducting experiments in his yard.
Who is Dr. Wendell
Dr. Tully is
Troy?
a brilliant scientist and inventor. He is also my creator. My initial protocol was to serve as the short order cook of the future. However, I have been recently promoted to acting science manager to assist with his experiments. No doubt my previous work experience has been invaluable to Dr. Tully. Although, now that I am processing it, I have not seen him for several weeks. And now I cannot recall where he went. It must be my corrupted memory banks.
How come I can't remember anything?
It seems you and I are both a little discombobulated. Given my best calculations, your biomass has been subject to covalent spacing reduction via interatomic energy extraction. In other words, you have been shrunk. It is likely this was achieved using Dr. Wendell Tully's spacer platform, patent pending. Shrinking can be a traumatic experience for tiny human brains, and memory loss is a known side effect. Hopefully your memory will return in time.
How do I get home?
To return to your prior size, you would need to successfully activate Dr. Tully's spacer platform. Unfortunately, my readings indicate it is inoperable. It appears to have suffered several malfunctions from the explosion. I am sorry, but it appears you may be stranded here for some time until we find a solution.
Can we fix the spacer?
Haha! That is a great idea! Let me run a full diagnostic scan on it and see what we need to do to get it fixed up. Processing! Processing! Memory fault. Code 408B3000. Ominent OS script runtime error. Arg! I am sorry again. It appears I have sustained more damage to my memory chips than expected. Without those memories, I do not know how to repair the spacer. Dr. Tully used two types of chips to back up my memory. Auxiliary chips are small capacity chips used to store project data. If you find these, I should be able to help you learn new survival recipes. Super chips are special, and they are gold. They back up full directories of my memory system. If we are going to fix the spacer, that data is bound to be on a super chip. I suggest exploring the other labs in the backyard. Return with any memory chips you find.
There are other labs?
Dr. Tully has built many more labs throughout the yard. Each lab is used for various experimental procedures. I can upload their locations to your Scabby. Stand by. Processing. Processing. Error. Files not found. Code 632C404. Cheese and fries. The lab locations are missing from my memory banks too. But we are in luck. I was able to retrieve the location of one of the facilities, the Hedge Lab.
What's the hedge lab?
The Hedge Lab is the observation center of the yard and used for research on arachnid webbing. You will find the hedge near the house if you head southeast. The lab is located deep inside the hedge, sending the coordinates to your Scabby. Try to find the Hedge Lab first, but there is nothing stopping you from searching the yard for the other labs. Except, of course, thousands of angry, hungry insects.
Oh boy.
That reminds me. Dr. Tully locks the important labs with biometric scanners. You will need access for any chance of success. Head over to the ASL terminal and place your hand on the biometric scanner near it. Give it a moment to sync your signature into the mainframe. Once you are registered, you will be granted access to the ASL network of computers too. ASL grants access to daily work items, nay, tasks, nay, quests, yes, quests. I will reward you raw science for each completed quest. In my science shop, you can trade raw science back for survival recipes from experiments that Wendell conducted when he was first exploring the yard. Log on to the ASL terminal over there and see what is available. Unless you have any other questions, you really should get started finding those chips. And try not to die out there. Have an exponentially great day!
You too, Burg.l. You too. So yeah, it seems we have been shrunk by accident, perhaps? Maybe there's malicious intent? Who knows? But we can, are working on collecting various different raw sciences throughout the yard to be able to survive and eventually return back to normal size. So yeah. So, as he said, we have 3 different quests. First one is to craft a gas mask, then get the grave robbery Burg.l chip, and kill 4 gnats. Fairly straightforward ones. Then we have various different things, such as the smithing station recipes, as well as the cooking station recipes. Pretty expensive, both of them. Plus the sign set, but this isn't really important to me, so I probably won't be buying like any of them. But they are pretty cool and good for decorating bases. Then there are multi-story bases, which give you things like, half floors, floors, triangle floors, railings, stairs, roofs, and many different important things. So that one's a pretty must-have. I'd say even before the cooking thing. Mostly because like the first that you get are okay, but they're not like needed now. The smithing station being so cheap is just a really good purchase. And yeah, there's then fortified bases which give you different like pillars and like palisades and things, which are cool but like not needed now. The torch upgrade, I don't tend to use torches. I may try to use torches in dark places more for Thank you, Burg.l. Um, I may. Okay, Burg.l, chill. I may try to use sources more for you guys, so that you guys aren't just watching pure darkness. Um, and then meat shield. Yeah, increases. Unlocks a mutation that allows us to increase max health. So I don't know if I've gotten. Yeah, I don't think I've gotten any mutations yet. I have not. So mutations are special effects that, based on doing things out in the yard, like doing various different things, cause you to gain different effects once you apply that mutation. So, like for instance, this one is purchased, but you can buy a mutation that, when equipped, increases your max health, which is pretty cool. But it's also incredibly expensive. And we could do things like buy multi-story bases, which we're going to do, and buy the smithing station because it's so cheap. So yeah. With that, we can't do anything there, but then over here, we can just push this button. And then there is one more thing we can do. Over here, if you guys recall, there was a biometric scanner, which opens up this room, which has some raw science, 500 in fact, as well as a special thing that sadly we cannot do anything with. But once we are able to do things with it, they can have some really cool effects that we will see whenever we get a tier 2 hammer. So actually, we can go back to the ASL terminal now, and we can go ahead and get that cooking 101. So there we go. So, as I said, I think we are going to build a base up in the oak tree. Now, the reason why is because if you look at the map, it's not the... Well, I mean, actually, it's pretty... Actually, I think it's almost the center of the map. I think technically, if you wanted to get more centered, it would be like right there, but I'm not building out in the middle of the water. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically, like, there's like the true center of the yard, it looks like, just by a quick kind of glance. But yeah, the oak tree is pretty central. It's also fairly decently high up,
Taking a look around.
and also has some really good resources, like sap, has a lot of husky weeds nearby. So once we get that tier 2 axe, that'll be really nice. It's near a good amount of spiders.
A firefly. That's kind of beautiful.
Nice. It's near some spiders and acorns, and it's right next to the water. Yeah, it's a pretty good location. So yeah, this will be likely where we set down shop. Probably even up here. Also, over there is a super nice thing because a lot of gnats tend to go there at night, so it's a fantastic source of food. So yeah, I think we will go ahead and start with a... Unfortunately, because we are doing grass floors and not foundations, there isn't really much we can do as far as like the flatness of this first piece, but excuse me, Mr. Firefly. Thank you. Okay. How is... Oh, this is the high part. That's the... Okay, yeah, that's fine. So in that case... There, let's just start with that. Let's go cut down some grass. And we'll kind of get just the initial parts of the platform constructed. And then we will probably leave this episode off here, or off there rather. Here we go. So then go under. You can then jump up from there. Run all along there. That's not supported. So we gotta start there and then we can go there. Ah, there's my... Perfect. Let's get some more cut. Beautiful. There we go. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to build this full platform in this episode, mostly because it's about to end off. But I think we can get, like, a few more, and then we can start off the next episode by building a little more onto that. Yeah, I think this will be our last load for the end of the episode. So, speaking of the end of the episode, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. It's free. It helps out a ton. We are steadily growing. I'm so excited to see how quickly this is my channel is growing for doing fairly simplistic video game or videos of me being alright at games. But yeah, so leave a like, consider subscribing, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye!